So next I'm going to go is going to be Slim Brawn. And it's fellow player hates every character that I create. Um, this one I think you guys are going to enjoy. This one was very interesting. Hi all, I have been playing D&D for the past 3 years now, and I have personally been playing with this group for about a year. We've done many different campaigns in that year due to long gaps between meetings, although we have thankfully gotten better than that recently. In every campaign, I attempt to create different types of characters in each to get a different experience in each. He said in each twice. But one of the players, who I'll call L, always seems to dislike my characters. Elle and I have been friends for a long time. Our entire group is made up of solid friends who get along very well. In fact, I've known Elle for the longest. We've gotten along for most of the time we've known each other. In fact, if he acts negatively towards my character, he never acts negative towards me in the slightest. Okay, so he's saying out of character, they're still great friends. That's good. That's a good thing. Alright. It starts to hurt after a while, having him constantly saying that he wants to kill my character, even as a joke. I have recently started to think it might be because all my characters share some sort of link, and I'm hoping that maybe you guys might be able to help. My most notable characters are the following. Lucy, a tiefling fighter, also known as a local hero in her small town, known for keeping monsters and beasts away, although no one had ever seen her kill or fight any of them. This is because Lucy instead befriended or led them away, trying to be as peaceful as possible. As such, when I played, most of the time, I either let others kill the enemy while I just added damage to help them, or tried to reason the enemy away. She never went against the party, though, almost always agreed with what they were doing and never stepped out of line. Mew. Mew? That's a great name for Tabaxi, by the way. Just throwing that out there. Mew. Just saying. Alright, Mew, half-health barbarian. Mew is a very simple woman. She's raised by a line of dragon slayers and was taught from a very young age how to fight. Due to that, she was not taught very many other things than that. She has very low intelligence, so she's not able to come up with very many ideas and tactics or help in situations where they're needed to think. So of course I played her like that, and having to rush headfirst into the enemy no matter what the odds. I can sort of see why he may not have liked her, though. Kichi. A human rogue and my current character. Kichi is a very manipulative person, always just doing what he wants, and when he wants. Of course, that can lead to times where he goes against what the party wants. And he would never outright harm the party. But he would never outright harm the party. Instead, it would be little things like not attacking the enemy while he's disguised as an enemy, even if the party's being attacked while he is there, as he doesn't want to give up his disguise. I hope that helps, and honestly, I'm just hoping all y'all will be able to give me some insight as to why they dislike my characters. If there's anything I can do to help that, thank you. Okay, alright, Slim Brawn. So here's the first thing I really noticed about the problem you're experiencing. One, it sounds like really it's just one person out of your entire party who's disliking your characters, which is Elle, right? So it's not the entire party that's disliking them, from what you've described. The second thing is, every single one of your characters, while contributing to damage, doesn't seem to actually want to fight. That's the main thing I'm gleaning from this, is like, so your character Lucy was about being kind of a pacifist person, saving the creatures, beasts, animals, whatever, and not actually killing them. Mew, you played her as low intelligence, so you basically didn't have, well, having her head rush on no odds. Well, see, that one, though, you definitely were helping. You were just rushing right in with no thought. It seems like you kind of play things right to their, like, gimmick, which is not a terrible thing by any means. In fact, one of the things I actually like about your characters so far is that each one kind of has that gimmick, and that you kind of stick to it. If anything, I don't know why they would make fun of a character for that. The only thing I think that I see as kind of egregious in my mind in here is being a rogue in disguise and not wanting to give up your disguise when you're in it, when your party's being attacked by the enemy. Because that, regardless of what your intention is, it's going to come off kind of douchey, like, as a player. And I hate to say that, but it is. It's just going to kind of come off a little douchey. So one of the suggestions I'd have for you there, Kichi, sorry, Slim Brawn, is that with this anyhow, you've really got to play characters that maybe are more likable. Why, instead of picking somebody whose main gimmick is, oh, I'm not going to help if circumstance X, Y, or Z is happening, then you need to pick something that is going to basically like be willing to help the party. Or if L is really the problem, build a character that maybe has some sort of thing with L, like some sort of like connection, whether it's like a long lost cousin, an old lost childhood friend, or like maybe you're still friends. Let's see what chat has to say about it. Kenny94550 says, it appears that all the characters would cause trouble in the party. While all characters should have their fair share of vices, not wanting to harm or kill his foes tends to cause friction. Exactly, and that's kind of what I see, at least with these two characters, Lucy and Kichi, both kind of have that going on. Whereas Miu doesn't really seem to have that problem, but almost the opposite of problem. She just rushes in, probably ruins planning, and that's the thing. A lot of groups really love that sense of like, let's sit down, let's plan, let's go in with our plan. Because like, how often have any of you guys been playing, and that you not just come up with a plan and jump into a fight? And I mean that in a way that like the DM like didn't just surprise you with mobs. I'm talking about like you saw the enemies you're going to go attack, and you guys just go, okay, well there they are, let's go in. No, most of the time, I like 90% of the time, every group I've seen will go, okay, here's what we should do. Let's figure this out. Maybe we send somebody in with this. Let's do this. I'll hold the back line. I'll keep an eye on our back just in case reinforcements show up. Like, I've always heard them plan. Kenny also says, realistically, a group of adventurers would drop that person as fast as possible for someone more in line with the profession. It's like playing cowardly tank that runs in at the first sight of danger. Yeah. So, that, yeah, I would have to heavily agree with that. But, yeah, Slimbron, I appreciate the question, and basically, if you're wanting to build something that your party and L, particularly because you mentioned this one player L a lot, is build something that has a connection to the party. Build something that's not going to have that. In fact, if I was going to say, if you want to have a vice, make it a more character roleplay vice. Make it something that's like fun, like a gambling addiction. And not that gambling addictions are fun, but like those are fun. Like I always mention, if anyone's seen A Knight's Tale, Geoffrey Chaucer in that movie has a gambling addiction, and he plays it so wonderfully that like it'll cause problems for the party, but at the same time too, it's something that's easily like easily able to deal with. Like I would say having alcoholism on a character is worse than having like a gambling addiction, right? As far as like role playing out those characters go. So if you're going to have a flaw, make sure it's something a little more on the social side than necessarily something that's going to affect you in combat. Let's see here. Kenny also says you can play perfectly to that character, but they keep on, or would you keep them on as a teammate? And of course, L might just be finding fault with you for a little reason. People do that as well. For sure, people love to heckle, and a lot of times too, when people are heckling other people, especially in D&D games, they don't realize what they say might be hurtful or sensitive. A lot of people don't realize just how attached to characters some people might be. Just because you're not super attached to your character and you love the idea of building new ones all the time, means that, you know, doesn't mean that someone else who's like, I notice this more with newer players. Newer players really latch on to one character, mainly like their first or second character, and they want to play that one, and they have such a deep attachment to that character. But yeah, totally. Vanya says, yeah, combat flaws make it harder to play with as a team member. They don't want to bring them along. Exactly. So, all right, Slimbron, I appreciate the question. You've gotten my input. You've gotten chat's input. We're going to go ahead and move on to the next one. If you do show up in chat at some point, and that's something else too. If any of you in chat are people that I messaged that have the questions here, because anytime I pull these questions off Reddit, I let the person know I'm going to be using their question, just so that, you know, I don't put something up on the internet that maybe they don't want to have. But if you are in here, I would love to get more context. Any of these things, I love more context. I love being able to interact with the person having the problem, so that not only me, but chat can also provide you with as many potential solutions as possible. Alright, so moving on.